You know, Joe Musso does some phenomenal work for us, and that was an all-timer. That was an all-timer from Joe, taking a look at Brady versus Rodgers this week. That is, of course, in the late window on Sundays. We take a look at a couple of the notable games. Ravens at the Patriots. Of course, Ravens looking to bounce back after losing last week to the Dolphins. And speaking of the Dolphins, oh, what a game we have. AFC East battle between two 2-0 sides. Bills coming to Miami Gardens. It's going to be a hot one, too. Close to 90 degrees on Sunday at game time. Bills coming in as 5.5-point favorites. All right, let's go over the top 5 NFL storylines with former defensive end Leger Douzable, who's still with us. You ready for more chaos this week?
Can't wait. I love it. You saw what my Jets did, right?
Yeah.
Minute 33 on the clock, down 13. Gets a win. A lot of chaos. We saw the Dolphins, down by 21. Come back with a big win as well. So let's see it. It seems like it's transferring from college to the NFL, all these big comebacks. So I love it. I love chaos in the NFL.
Yeah, and it's been a great couple of weeks. Let's start with Brady versus Rodgers. With all due respect to all the wide receivers that are playing in this game, we have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and neither of them is throwing to a superstar wide receiver in this game. So let's start with Tampa here.
Yep.
What does this offense look like this week for Brady?
I mean, the one thing I know about Tampa Bay and Tom Brady is no matter who's out there at receiver, they're going to get it done. I go back to last year versus the New York Jets. I believe it was week 16 or 15, right? All his top receivers out. Antonio Brown leaves the stadium in the middle of the game, throws his shoulder pads off. He's throwing to guys like Surreal Grayson and Ty Johnson, and he finds a way to win. Last week, Mike Evans gets, ejected from the game, is going to get suspended, won't play this game. He finds Brashard Perriman for a touchdown. Brady just finds a way to win the game. I think they'll be a little bit more balanced on offense. I know Cole Beasley signed to their practice squad. We'll see if he gets elevated and plays. And we'll check the status of Julio Jones and also Chris Godwin on Friday to see if they practice. If they don't practice Friday, they most likely aren't playing in this game. But if you look at this Green Bay defense, right, they struggled stopping the run last week. To the Chicago Bears running back, they gave up damn near 8 yards a carry. I think Leonard Fournette has a bounce-back game. Tom Brady is going to dink and dunk, whether it's Brashard Perriman, Cole Beasley, Russell Gage, no matter who's out there, he's going to find a way because that's just Tom Brady.
And Russell Gage, one of those guys that fantasy experts like for this week, particularly this offense, especially if Julio Jones is not available to go in this game. For Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's not been shy about the fact that he needs more from his pass catchers.
Yeah.
And they have had problems with their pass catchers today through their top 3 guys not in practice. Have you seen enough growth throughout the preseason in the first 2 weeks to give you a little bit of hope that this offense is going to be okay?
I think the offense is going to be okay because they're more balanced now, right? I think they should continue to run the ball effectively. You saw that last week. A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones both had over 15 attempts. I think that's what the Green Bay Packers are right now until those young receivers come along. Now, we saw Samuel Watkins have an explosive 50-yard run and catch, but I think they're more balanced and they play a lot better when they run the ball. If you look at it last year, when Aaron Rodgers didn't have any of his receivers versus the Arizona Cardinals, what did they do? They came out and ran the ball. Aaron Rodgers spread the ball around just like he did versus Chicago on that Sunday night or Monday night game, and he completed a pass to 7 different receivers. So I think the Packers really need to lean on this run game with Aaron Jones and also A.J. Dillon, and then get Aaron Jones out of the backfield catching the ball because he's an explosive athlete when he catches the ball, mismatches versus safeties and linebackers.
Well, and their top 4 wide receivers did not practice today, but certainly hope that, I mean, when you have quarterbacks like Brady and Rodgers, I mean, you put guys out there that can catch the ball. They're going to find a way.
They're going to find a way.
That's what makes them great. As of today, this game is essentially a pick-em. Bucks favored by a point. The total sitting at 41 and a hook. So give us a pick here.
I'm taking the Tampa Bay Bucks because they're at home on the money line. I know the receiver issues, but it looks like Green Bay has just as many receiver issues as the Tampa Bay Bucks. But again, I talked about it. That Green Bay defense gave up damn near 8 yards a carry against the Chicago Bears. I think Leonard Fournette has a bounce-back game. And the thing is, this Tampa Bay Bucks defense, Jeremy, oh, my God. It's playing at a different level. 3 interceptions last week, a couple fumble recoveries. Devin White, I think, is going to be a big name in this game because Aaron Jones, they like to get him the ball out of the backfield. Well, Devin White takes away running backs in the pass game, one of the best pass coverage linebackers in all the NFL. And then we know Todd Bowles. He's bringing that heat, so Aaron Rodgers is going to have to make quick decisions. If those young receivers aren't ready, it's going to be a long day from them. And then the defensive line from the Tampa Bay Bucks. Shaq Barrett is playing like he did a few years ago when he had the most sacks in the NFL. 2 sacks Sunday versus the New Orleans Saints. Vita Vea, I believe, had a half a sack. Devin White had a sack on a blitz. I think this Tampa Bay Bucks defense will just be too much for Aaron Rodgers in this offense.
Do you have a little bit of sentimentality when it comes to this game because it might be the last time that we're seeing these two face off against one another?
Yeah, it's kind of like how we felt when Peyton and Brady played for the last time, right? These are 2 of the GOATs. Both of these guys will be first ballot Hall of Famers. So, I mean, yeah, you got back-to-back weeks, right? Tom Brady plays Aaron Rodgers, then he plays Patrick Mahomes. I think everybody will be tuned in these next 2 weeks as the Bucks play.
Should be a good one. 1 point separating the 2 of them as they head into week 3. All right. Buffalo goes to Miami this week, one of the headline games, and it is going to be a hot one in Miami Gardens, projected to be just shy of 90 degrees, maybe a little bit cloudy, but it's still going to be hot. If you're in South Florida, you know what that humidity does to you.
No question.
I'm not sure, though, that the heat is even enough to stop this red-hot Buffalo Bills offense.
I mean, you're not lying, Jeremy. I mean, can the Bills be beat? They remind me of Thanos in an Infinity War. Like, nobody can stop them. I picked against them in the spread last week. I thought 10 points was disrespectful to the Tennessee Titans. Well, they showed me early and often that, we needed more than 10 points. I mean, shout out to Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, to be in that position, Brian Daboll leaves. There's so many questions. Can this offense be explosive as it was? Gabe Davis didn't even play in the Monday night game. And Stephon Diggs, they did a really good job moving him around. Now, the Tennessee Titans did have some issues in their secondary, a lot of injuries. Christian Fulton wasn't playing. But they took full advantage, and that's what you're supposed to do when you're the better team. Take full advantage of it. I mean, I don't think anybody can stop this Buffalo Bills offense. And then on defense, to me, they do what they do. Now, I am a little concerned because on defense, Dane Jackson won't be there. They'll be starting 2 rookie corners. Yep. But they do what they do. Leslie Frazier plays that cover 2 defense, but he's multiple in the way he gets to it, Jeremy. They disguise so well. And as long as Jordan Poyer, who came up on the injury report today and didn't practice, and Michael Hyder back there, they're going to be just fine. They went and got Von Miller as a closer for games like this. Go and get after the quarterback. It won't be like when Miami played the Ravens. If the Bills get a big league, they're not going to surrender that.
Well, and with Gabe Davis back, too. I mean, I had Stephon Diggs in fantasy in 3 leagues, managed to come back and win with that. So, I mean, Gabe Davis, good for Bills fans to have him back. But, I mean, I kind of like the usage.
Got to share that shared target now. You're like, nah, I don't like.
After that epic comeback last week versus the Ravens, I mean, this is the biggest test so far for Tua, McDaniels, Tyreek, and the Dolphins. So what should their approach be versus the Bills in this defense?
Yeah, we're going to see what the Miami Dolphins are truly about. What is the line? -5.5. I'm actually taking the Bills because I'm not betting against them until they win with that line. But their approach should be like it was last week, right? Even though they were down by 21, nobody hung their hat. They went out there and were efficient. Tua Tagovailoa threw for almost 500 yards. I don't think I've seen many games where a quarterback throws for almost 500 yards, Jeremy. But it was this catch right here to Mike Gesicki. This is what I learned a lot about Tua, because at the time I think they were down by 21. I think it was towards the end of the second quarter, and it was 3rd and 13. That's a big boy throw to give your team confidence going into half to know we could potentially come back in this game. A few coverage busts. We see Tyreek Hill running past the defense a couple times. I don't know how in the hell you let Tyreek Hill get behind you. This is the fastest man in the NFL. You know that's the one guy you got to stop. Jalen Waddle has been sensational the first 2 weeks of the season. Now, the run game definitely needs to come along for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
I think they have to run the ball a little bit more to be more effective in this game and keep it close. And with Mike McDaniel, I'm a little surprised the run game hasn't been better, because that was one of his specialties when he was in San Francisco. But yeah, just go play football to it, right? Don't worry about it being the Buffalo Bills and all the indications of what's happening with this game. Play like you did that second half, carefree and loose.
That line was 6 points. It's now down to 5.5. The total was sitting at 52. That's also now adjusted. So how do you see this one going? Because this Bills defense is really hard to run against.
Correct.
Right? And so the Dolphins have struggled with the run game. But if anybody's going to come up with a game plan, it's going to be Mike McDaniel here, right? So, I mean, what kind of a game are you expecting? How do you see this going?
Yeah, again, the one thing that concerns me about the Bills defense is you're starting 2 rookies. Now, Christian Benford at corner has played well, and Kyer Elam had to come in once Dane Jackson got hurt, and I'm glad he's doing a lot better. But that's the one thing that concerns you because of the speed of the Miami Dolphins. You got Waddle out there, you got Tyreek Hill. I think this game, again, Miami has to establish the run game. They haven't done it the first 2 weeks. They got to keep this game close. ultimately, I just think with Gabe Davis coming back, Stephon Diggs, the way that Josh Allen is playing, I believe it's just too much. Even though it will be hot and muggy and humid down here in South Florida, I believe the Bills still cover that 5.5. Take the Bills. They cover the -5.5.
Yeah, that number jumped to 52.5 for the total for that game. So, I mean, it could be a track meet.
They're expecting fireworks, but we almost thought that last week versus Tennessee. I think both teams scored on their opening drive, and then the defense settled in. And this is what people have to understand, Jeremy. Offensive coaches have a scripted first 15, right? So they're going to call those plays no matter what. Then after those 15 plays go away, how do you adjust? Tennessee didn't adjust. We'll see if Miami can adjust after their first 15 plays.
Forget if they win or lose, but if Miami keep this game close, I mean, is that good enough in terms of a measuring stick of where this Dolphins team is at?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to say that as a player, right? Because there's no consolation prizes. But if they measure up pretty well in this game, I think they have to feel confident that they can make a true playoff run. I mean, I think everybody had the Bills running away with this division. But if Miami keeps this close, I mean, you never know what could happen towards the end of the year.
It is going to be a great one, and it's one you'll be able to see on CBS. Speaking of that Dolphins comeback, let's look at the other side of that comeback, the team that lost, the Ravens. I mean, Lamar Jackson had one of the best games of his entire career, put on a show. This week they go to Foxborough to face the Pats. How important is it for the Ravens to rebound here?
It's big because that was a major botch. Like, you can't be up by that many points. And
was it 38-7?
Yeah, you can't be up that many points. And you talked about it, Jeremy. Like, nobody's talking about what Lamar Jackson did, not just as a runner, as a thrower of the football. 3 touchdown passes, and he had the big scamper for 70-plus yards on a zone read play. But the Baltimore Ravens, again, on defense, you cannot allow a team to come back. You can't allow Tyreek Hill to get wide open. Miscommunication on the back end hurt them. I believe they rectify that this week versus the New England Patriots. I believe they run the football. And again, people have always said, if you stop Lamar from running the ball, then you can really deal with the Baltimore Ravens. Well, he showed last week, he passed the ball around. I mean, Bateman caught a slant and went to the house for it. Mark Andrews, his favorite target, had a big game. Lamar was efficient throwing the football. And when he's efficient throwing the football, he's one of the best in the game. Top 10 quarterback, almost impossible to stop because of his athletic ability with his legs. So I think they get back to running the football, right? They'll give Lamar Jackson probably 8 or 9 called quarterback runs, but his efficiency throwing the ball will be big this week because the New England Patriots will play a lot of man coverage, so it's going to be tight windows and tight coverage he has to throw into. And
Lamar betting on himself this season as well, so expecting big things from Lamar all season long. Ravens, to start the week, 2-point favorites. The total was 43.5. That's now jumped. They're 3-point favorites. The total's jumped to 44. Do you see them getting it done versus New England and Foxborough?
Yeah, I see them getting it done. We've seen the struggle that this New England Patriots offense has had. I don't believe they haven't scored over 17 points in one of the first 2 games this season. And we know that Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, who have never been offensive coaches, are on the offensive side of the ball. That offense has really struggled. I believe Lamar Jackson, this offense is just too explosive. They cover the 3. You said it was -2.5. Now it's 3, right? I believe you take the Ravens with the points. I believe they cover this game. And honestly, I think they win by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's a total sitting at 44. Partly cloudy with a high of 70 degrees in Foxborough for this game on
football
Sunday.
weather, baby.
That's ideal temperatures for
football weather, baby.
He is former NFL defensive end Leger Douzable, joining us here on HQ to preview some of the action ahead in Week 3. We have some great games on CBS this weekend, so be sure to check your local listings. Bills, Dolphins, I mean, that's top of the list. Bengals chasing a first win versus the Jets. Who thought we'd go into Week 3 saying that? And Trevor Lawrence going for his first ever road win in the NFL. Jags at the Chargers. You can watch the games in your market or stream them on the go with Paramount+.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.